Yo, what's up, Victorious? And all you other nice ladies and gents that have clicked on this video. It's your man's Legend, the best what if YouTuber on the platform. And I'm back with another video. What if Naruto and Sasuke was sent to the Highschool DxD universe? This is season 2, part 5. Now, I would apologize for not uploading 5 days ago, but honestly, I'm not sorry. I'm human. I messed up. I gave in to temptation. Warframe dropped. A new update. I backslid in Christianity. But we're not going to talk about all that. You know what? Let's just get into the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. Play my intro. Naruto descended slowly from the fractured sky, his body still wreathed in fading embers of gold. The wind curled around him, as if reluctant to let him go, lifting the hem of his cloak and stirring the scorched dust beneath his feet. For a moment, it looked as though gravity itself hesitated, like the world was unsure whether it was allowed to pull him back down. Then his sandals touched the ground. The instant he landed, the overwhelming golden aura surrounding him began to dissolve, peeling away in quiet streams of light that vanished into the night air. The crushing pressure that had weighed on the battlefield eased, though the scars it left behind remained. Cracked earth, warped stone, and the lingering sensation that something irreversible had just occurred. Naruto let out a long, slow breath. It wasn't relief. It was restraint. His shoulders sagged slightly, as if he were finally allowing the weight of everything to settle onto him at once. The truth-seeking orbs behind him dissolved into nothingness, and the divine markings along his skin dimmed until they were gone entirely. To anyone watching, it might have looked like the end of a battle. For Naruto, it felt like standing naked in front of the world. He was dimly aware of movement behind him, footsteps crunching over broken stone, but he didn't turn. He didn't need to. He knew exactly who it was before the hand ever touched his shoulder. Sasuke's grip was firm, but not forceful. Grounding. "You alright, Naruto?" Naruto nodded once, slowly. He didn't trust his voice yet. His gaze remained fixed on his right hand. In his palm hovered the last remnant of Kokabiel, a small black orb pulsing faintly like the dying echo of a corrupted heartbeat. It didn't scream. It didn't resist. It simply existed, obedient and hollow, stripped of all arrogance and malice. Naruto stared at it for a long moment. Then, his fingers closed. The orb shattered soundlessly, collapsing into fine black residue that spilled between his fingers like ash. Naruto shook his hand once sharply, scattering the remnants to the wind as if discarding something foul that had clung to his skin. The particles dissolved before they even hit the ground. It was over. And yet, Naruto still didn't turn around. Behind him stood Raynare, Kawiner, Akeno, Rias and her peerage, Sona and hers, devils, fallen angels, and beings who had just watched him reach into a living being and remove the very thing that defined their existence. He couldn't face them. His jaw tightened. His shoulders stiffened as if the fear crept in quiet, insidious, familiar. They saw it. They saw him do it as if it were simple, as if it were natural to him. They felt his power, felt how small they were in comparison, and that terrified him far more than any enemy ever had, because he knew the look. He'd seen it before in villagers, in shinobi, and allies who took one step too far back without realizing they were doing it. Judgment, fear disguised as reason, condemnation for something he never asked for. Sasuke waited a beat, then nodded to himself. "Alright," he said, tugging lightly at Naruto's sleeve. "Come on, you've got someone waiting for you." He turned, expecting Naruto to follow. Naruto didn't move. Sasuke frowned and pulled again, harder this time. Still, nothing. Naruto stood rooted to the spot, his head bowed slightly, his hands clenched at his sides. Sasuke turned back, irritation flickering across his face. "Naruto!" No response. Confusion replaced irritation. Sasuke stepped around him and stopped short. Naruto wasn't looking at anyone. He was staring at the ground, eyes shadowed, posture tight, like someone bracing for a blow that hadn't come yet. He looked rejected, smaller than he had any right to, given what he'd just done. Sasuke's expression hardened, not with anger, but with something sharper. "Naruto," he said, stepping directly in front of him. "What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to go be with everyone else?" Naruto's lips pressed together. For a second, it looked like he might not answer at all. Then he looked up. His eyes weren't glowing anymore. They were just blue, tired, conflicted, and filled with something that had nothing to do with power. Because they all saw something they weren't supposed to. Naruto said quietly, "Every single one of them just experienced a level of power they can't even comprehend. From me." His fingers curled slightly. "And to make things worse, I've always been judged for what I can't control." The words landed heavier than any blow. Sasuke understood instantly. And because he understood, he stepped forward and head-butted him. A sharp crack echoed across the ruined field. Naruto stumbled back a step, yelping as he grabbed his forehead in pure reflex, more shock than hurt. "Ow! What the hell, team?" Sasuke didn't care. He grabbed Naruto by the collar and snarled in his face, "Get a grip, Naruto!" Naruto froze. "You did what you had to do," Sasuke continued, voice rising. "What if you hadn't done it?" "Well, I would've. You think anyone here doesn't understand that?" He gestured sharply behind them. "Those people back there, they don't want to be close to you because you're strong. They want to be close to you because they like you." A ripple went through the group behind them. Rias stiffened, her cheeks warming. Akeno looked away with a small, embarrassed smile. Kaneko's ears twitched, her expression betraying just the faintest hint of pink. Sasuke didn't notice, or didn't care. "And Raynare," he went on, jabbing his thumb towards her, "is your girlfriend. She took your last name because she chose you. Because she wanted to belong with you. This isn't the elemental nations." His voice dropped, sharp and certain. "You know how to control your strength now. No one here is going to judge you." Naruto looked away, his ears burning. Before he could say anything, a sudden warmth wrapped around him. He stiffened instantly, chakra flaring on instinct, as a slender pair of arms circled his waist from behind. Naruto jumped slightly, heart skipping, when he realized too late that someone had gotten close to him without him noticing at all. That alone said everything about where his head was. He relaxed the moment he heard her voice, soft and close to his ear. "I don't know everything about your past," Raynare murmured, her cheeks resting lightly against his back. "But none of us would ever think of judging you or rejecting you." Her grip tightened just a little, especially when you're a saint compared to all of us. Naruto closed his eyes. The battlefield was still broken. The night was still heavy with smoke and scorched earth. But for the first time since the power had erupted out of him, since judgment had wrapped its claws around his heart, something loosened. He wasn't alone, and for once, he didn't have to face the world by himself. Naruto swallowed hard and let out a slow breath, the tension finally easing from his shoulders. "You're right," he admitted quietly. I'm just being stupid right now." Before he could say anything else, Raynare, still hugging him tightly from behind, pinched his side without warning. "Ow!" Naruto flinched, half laughing, as he turned his head. "Don't say that about yourself," Raynare scolded softly, though there was warmth behind it. She tightened her arms around him possessively. "I won't let my man put himself down like that." Naruto couldn't help it. He smiled, the kind that reached his eyes, and turned fully within her grip. He wrapped his arms around her in return, resting his forehead lightly against hers for just a moment. The battlefield, the fear, the judgment he'd imagined, all of it felt distant now, dulled by the simple fact that she was still here, still holding him. As the two embraced, footsteps crunched against broken stone and scorched grass. The others finally began to approach. Rias was the first to step forward. Her clothes were torn and disheveled, scorch marks and ripped fabric, leaving very little to the imagination, though she was still covered by her pink undergarments. The damage made it clear just how close to death they'd all come. Despite that, she carried herself with dignity, crimson hair falling loosely around her shoulders as she stopped a few steps away from Naruto. "We all really thank you for your help, Naruto," Rias said sincerely. She stepped closer as she spoke, her movements causing her assets to shift slightly. Naruto noticed immediately and instantly snapped his head to the side, face flushing bright red as he stared very intently at a patch of scorched grass. Rias blinked, then flushed faintly herself before continuing, choosing to ignore his reaction with practiced grace. "If it weren't for you and Sasuke," she said, her tone firm, "I'm positive most of us would have died by Kokabiel's hands, and another war would have broken out because of it." Her gaze softened. "Between this and the marriage situation you helped me with a few months ago, I'll make sure my brother votes in your favor of you staying when the meeting between the faction leaders eventually takes place." Naruto finally looked back at her, eyes widening slightly. "You don't have to, I want to," Rias interrupted gently. "You've earned it." Behind her, Akeno stood quietly. She glanced at Naruto, then at Raynare, clinging to his arm, and something flickered across her face. Sadness, resignation, and something deeper she didn't let linger. She turned her head away, sighing softly. Her shrine maiden outfit had suffered even more damage than Rias's. the fabric torn and burned to the point that she had to half-heartedly cover parts of her chest with one arm. Even now, she seemed more embarrassed by the emotional weight of the moment than her state of undress. Sona and her peerage were next to approach. The sea tree heiress adjusted her glasses, pushing them up to the bridge of her nose as she assessed Naruto with her sharp, analytical gaze. But there was no fear in her eyes, only respect. "Honestly, Uzumaki-san," Sona said calmly, "your presence here was a great help. You single-handedly stopped a war from happening." Naruto scratched the back of his head awkwardly. "I just did what I had to. So, we'll do what we have to," Sona replied smoothly. "I'll make sure my older sister votes in your favor of you and Sasuke remaining here as well." Naruto blinked. "Both of you?" Sona nodded. "You're a package deal at this point." Before Naruto could respond, his expression changed. His head snapped sharply to the left, eyes narrowing as he looked up into the night sky. The air felt wrong, disturbed. "Who the hell is that?" Naruto muttered. Before anyone else could even react, space warped. A hand suddenly appeared on the shoulder of a man clad in white and blue dragon armor, who had been perched silently on a distant tree branch. The man stiffened in shock. A cold voice spoke right beside his helmet. "It's not polite to spy," Sasuke said evenly, "especially when you're not good at it." The armored man reacted instantly, twisting away and creating distance in a blur of motion. In the same instant, Sasuke was standing where he'd been before, calm, one hand resting casually on the hilt of his sword. The tension spiked. Rias quickly raised a hand. "No need to worry," she said. "That's just Vali Lucifer. He's the White Dragon Emperor, the rival of the previous Red Dragon Emperor. He's not a threat." Sasuke huffed, quietly but relaxed, releasing his grip on his sword. Vali stepped forward, his movements casual as he surveyed the battlefield. His gaze lingered on Kokabiel's corpse, eyes narrowing slightly. "I was sent here for him," Vali said flatly, "but it seems he's already been dealt with." His eyes shifted to Naruto. "I also heard you killed this generation's Red Dragon Emperor," Vali continued. "He was supposed to be my rival." A faint grin tugged at his lips. "But you took that from me, so you'll have to take his place." Naruto stared at him, baffled. "I didn't sign up for that." Vali chuckled. "Doesn't matter." He walked past them, lifted Kokabiel's corpse with ease, and took off to the air. Within seconds, he was gone. 2 days later, the Occult Research Club room was quiet but tense. Rias sat behind her desk, hands folded neatly in front of her, as she observed the two guests seated across the room. Kaneko lounged on the couch to the side, calmly eating from a tray of cookies, as if nothing unusual was happening. Kiba stood near the wall, arms crossed, hair shadowing his eyes. Akeno stood near the two guests, holding a teacup, her expression polite but guarded. Rias spoke first. "So," she said evenly, "what are two exorcists doing in my territory?" The chestnut-haired girl straightened. "Oh, my name is Irina," she said brightly, "and this is my companion Xenovia." Xenovia nodded stiffly. "We're here to retrieve a stolen holy sword from our church," Irina continued. "We came all the way from Italy, and I would politely ask you not to interfere with our mission." Rias wasn't surprised. She already knew Kokabiel had stolen the holy swords, and handed them to Valper. And she also knew exactly where they were, because she had them. Before she could respond, Kiba scoffed. Huh. You try to tell us what to do in our territory, he said coldly. I find that rather comical. Xenovia turned sharply towards him. And who are you? Kiba smirked. I'm your superior, he replied without hesitation. And I plan to destroy every holy sword I find. Yours will be first. Xenovia rose instantly, grabbing the massive blade strapped to her back. Excalibur destruction. Is that a challenge? Kiba turned and began walking toward the exit. It is now. Rias sighed heavily. Honestly, Kiba. Minutes later, they stood in a grassy clearing outside the school. Okay, no fatal wounds, Rias ordered firmly. No killing. That goes for the both of you. Neither Kiba nor Xenovia responded. Steel rang as they drew their swords. The duel began explosively. Xenovia's strikes were powerful, her holy blade cleaving through the air with devastating force. Kiba matched her step for step. He was faster, but when he tried to counter by forming a larger, heavier sword, he faltered, his footing unstable. His strength was not yet suited for such a weapon. Then he did something no one expected. Balance breaker! He drove his sword into the ground. When he pulled it free, the blade had changed its form. Sleeker, darker, yet glowing faintly with holy light. I call this, Kiba said calmly, the holy devil sword. Xenovia froze. That's impossible, she shouted, dropping her weapon. That can't be. Light and dark cannot coexist. It's a law set by God. Rias and her peerage went simultaneously, clutching their heads at the mention of that name. Without thinking, Kiba replied flatly, Yeah, well, he died a long time ago. Silence fell like a hammer. Xenovia and Irina stared at him in shock. What? Irina whispered. But guys, I'm going to end it off right there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Like goal for this video is going to be 8 likes as usual, so hit that. But if we could get more, that would be very nice. Make me very happy. It means that we're improving. Also, I'm gonna need you to aggressively hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Just so you could see more of the content. But without further ado, I am out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed, y'all.